Okay, welcome back. We are in our physical anthropology / biological anthropology unit, and this is anatomically modern humans. So we have finally made it to our species, Homo sapiens sapiens. To review, we have recently talked about archaic Homo sapiens. They lived from around 700,000 years ago to around 200 to 30,000 years ago. So we included Homo heidelbergensis, Denisovans, and Neanderthals in this category, even though Neanderthals really lived alongside anatomically modern humans. We just don't consider them quite physically modern because they're, slightly different body proportions, cranial features, even the shapes of the long bones were a little bit different. Those were some physical differences. But anyway, we had this category of, pre-modern or archaic Homo sapiens. Remember, Neanderthals lived from around 130,000 years ago to 30,000 years ago. And I know this date range is kind of hard to find, but this is the most accurate date range as far as our materials are concerned. They probably had human speech or speech that sounds a lot like ours. Their hyoid bone was shaped the same as a modern human. They did intermix with Homo sapiens sapiens, and now we call them Homo sapiens neanderthalensis. Neanderthals lived in Western Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. So this region or area where these sites have found has expanded in recent years. So that is great that we have been finding more of these Neanderthal sites. So that was our review of archaic humans. Now we are going to go into these topics, approaches to understanding modern human origins, the earliest discoveries of modern humans, and then technology and art in the Upper Paleolithic. Okay, here we go. Anatomically modern humans. Modern Homo sapiens evolved in Africa around 200,000 years ago and then dispersed to the rest of the Old World and Australia and then later into the Americas, or the New World. These first modern humans are clearly the descendants of the previously discussed pre-modern or archaic humans. The primary questions that need to be addressed are: when did modern humans first appear? Where did this transition from archaic to modern take place? Did it occur in just one region or in several regions? What was the pace of the evolutionary change? How quickly did this transition occur? And how did the dispersal of modern humans to other areas of the Old World take place? So now we're going to go over some early discoveries of modern humans in different parts of the globe, starting with Africa. So in Africa, fully anatomically modern forms date from 120 to 80,000 years ago. Now this date range is going to vary based on the textbook or the source. Some argue that they go back to 200,000 years ago or even 300,000 years ago. So don't worry too much about that. 200,000 is a safe bet if you're writing your final, but anything in these ranges is acceptable. So one skull called Oma 1 dates back to 195,000 years ago. And then there are other dates from South Africa dating to 100,000 years ago. Fossils from Herto, Ethiopia were announced in 2003, even though they were discovered much earlier, or about 6 years earlier. The cranial remains are definitely from Homo sapiens and have been securely dated to around 160,000 years ago, and they are the best preserved early Homo sapiens cranium found. This has been placed in a new subspecies, H.S. adultu, Homo sapiens adultu, to emphasize the fact that they are near modern. So in this case, they have been split into a different subspecies, although I don't hear this distinction made very often. These fossils are the most conclusive evidence to date of an African origin for modern humans. Fossil evidence is compatible with a great deal of genetic data indicating some form of replacement model for human origins, meaning that anatomically modern humans came about and then replaced the older populations across the globe.